Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Growing Professional Show. Today, again, it's a Sunday and it's a time to have wonderful conversation with one of the LinkedIn top voice. And today, we are going to talk about how to handle the challenges, the mid-career blues. Everybody starts the career with a lot of passion. They want to build, they want to make it big. They keep putting best efforts, but at point of time, after say 10 years or 15 years of time, most of the people, most of the professionals go through this phase where they start thinking whether they're going in a right direction. Their responsibilities are increasing, but their paychecks are not. So this is a time people go through a lot of dilemma. So to answer all those questions that keep hitting in your mind time and again, I have invited Mr. Anshuman Tiwari. He is LinkedIn top voice, as I mentioned earlier. He is career coach and specialized in mid-career challenges. Right? He helps mid-career professional give a new life to their career and grow faster than they have even imagined. So, without any further delay, let's welcome Mr. Anshuman on the Growing Professional Show. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for taking out time to be on the Growing Professional Show.
My pleasure, Ashish. And you gave a very kind introduction. I am nowhere near what you said, but thank you very much for having me on the show. And I hope we can together add value to your audience.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, sir, the very first question that I have received from the audience side is, uh, because as I mentioned in the introduction part, people start the career with a lot of passion, and when they are growing older, they have spent some time in the industry. People observe that okay, new generation is coming up, and they are much more active. They are able to get more eyeballs in the organization, and they get even better salary packages than the people who are already in the organization. So, how to stay relevant in the current job? Because in this podcast, definitely I'm going to talk a lot of things, but I feel that will be the best scenario wherein one can stay relevant in the organization and keep growing.
Yeah, so very fair question, Ashish. And I get this question a lot. As you know, time coach. I have a full-time job as well, so I am fully employed, directly employed as a senior professional in the industry. So I get this kind of question, and I also face the same question, right? It is not that I don't face, and I also have ambition, and I also have uh, a desire to grow further. But the reality is that the pyramid of any organization is like this. At least a classical organization is like this. So there are more jobs at the bottom, and there, as you grow, there are lesser jobs, as you say. So that is an important thing for all of us to understand, that not every career will move in a linear vertical direction. And the sooner we understand this, the better. I'm not asking you to temper your ambition, but it is important to understand that not everybody will grow. That is one. Two, it is extremely important to do well in your current job, right? So many people, when they get frustrated with their lack of growth or lack of, as you said, salary check or promotion, they stop doing they stop working hard in their current job, which is suicidal, because you are being paid for your current job. If you don't do a very good job in your current thing, you very soon will be very difficult to retain in your current job.
Mhm.
So whether promotion happens or not, whether in salary increases or not, forget all that. First, do a good job in your current job. So I always remind people that please show up and work really hard in your current job, shine in your current job, and in parallel keep looking for something that will be of interest to you. So the answer to your question, therefore, is that be an all-round package.
Mhm.
Show up, work hard, volunteer for programs, be friendly with people, be nice with people, make friends. This new trend of work from home is creating a problem that nobody has really got any friends at work.
I
Very
agree.
difficult, right? So there is no social interaction. And the price to pay for that lack of social interaction is at the end of the year, when the manager is doing an appraisal or a review, and he or she finds that maybe 20 people in her team she has not even met, what do you think? Who will get better rating?
I
The people
understand.
whom she has been meeting, right? So, or
Yes.
interacting with. I'm not saying necessarily physical meeting, but at least interaction. If you are not social, if you're not friendly, if you're not nice, if you're not kind, if you don't even smile at your friends or
Workers. Yeah.
colleagues, what will happen, right? So then people at the end of the year, cry that, oh, my manager is biased, and manager is not biased.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your past year, right? Of course, there can be some managers who are biased, but let's say 99% won't be, or a very large percentage.
I
So
agree.
that's how I can start that. Most of the time the people I coach, including myself, we find areas of improvement within ourselves. And in any case, you cannot change your manager, you cannot change your manager's manager, you cannot
Mm-hmm.
easily change your department. So what
Mm-hmm.
can you change? You can change yourself. So I would think that that is a very very common scenario for people who find themselves stuck in mid career. And so just to summarize, shine in your current job, show up and work really hard, be really social, mix with people, be friendly, help others, and of course be very good in what you do. So those would be some key
If
points that I
one
can.
thing I would very nicely summarize, but one thing I would wanted to get more insight on, how about upskilling with time to time? How to identify, because with times new and new tools came in, every time people are changing how they work, the agility, and as well as learning new skills, new things. So how do you suggest like how one should, because there are a lot of things to learn, but how to identify which is best thing for me, which is not maybe something where I should spend time on. So what are
Very
your
good
views?
question. Very good question, Ashish, because, and I will give you an example. In the last 5 years, and since I'm in the IT services industry, I'll give an example which is closer to me. But you can apply, your audience can apply this example to any industry that they belong to. In the last 5 years, there have been two major promised disruptors in the IT industry. One was robotic process automation, which is RPA, and then what is called data science, or those kind of things. And both have come and gone. So if somebody was following a trend and doing a particular course or pivoting their career in these fields just because it was the in thing to do, just because it was trending, just because it was popular, some friend of theirs or some neighbor got a good job in that field and was earning twice the salary that they were, in 5 years these skills are no longer special skills, these are part of the regular role. So what happens? So first and foremost, I keep saying that it is important to make sure that we don't look at a trend, right? Of course you should be mindful of the trend, you should be aware of the trend, but you should not jump on the trend because it is a trend. One should be able to evaluate what are my core skills. So if I have to jump on something, am I a macro person or a micro person? Do I like to manage things or do I like to lead things? Do I like to finish things or do I like to start things? Am I a detailed person or I am a landscape person? Am I good at coding or am I good at managing? What is my strength? Is my strength core people strength? Am I good at operations or am I good at sales? What are you good at? Some core skills will remain. So number one, please don't jump on trends because they are trends,
Yeah.
right? So look at what are your core skills, and also at the same time what are your you know weaknesses,
Hmm.
because our limitations or weaknesses don't vanish in a year or so. It takes many years of hard work for them to go away. So these will be things. The other thing, the second area I would strongly recommend is that people should be very world should have a world view, right? I
Hmm.
meet a lot of youngsters and even mid-career people
Hmm.
who just want to do their job and go home, and in the name of work-life balance and all that nonsense, they don't want to learn anything new. They have
Hmm.
no clue what is happening around in the world, in their industry, what are the new trends, what is new happening.
Hmm.
No idea. Forget that, no general knowledge these days. Nobody reads newspapers, no general knowledge, what is happening around the world, what is the impact of that world. They can't strike a conversation for 5 minutes if they start. How will you make friends? How will you get to know anything if some other department wants to offer you a job, why will they offer you a job to a person who is neither good at their work and an extremely boring person? Why would somebody offer? So
Agree.
please be a little practical. Understand that you need a world view of things.
I
Only when you
understand.
have worldview, then you will be able to find out, oh, there are 10 new things happening. Looks like these two are my, complementary skills. So I
Mm-hmm.
should try a little bit. First, experiment a little bit, see some YouTube videos, see Ashish's channel, other
Mm-hmm.
people's channels where they are giving good information free. Then
Mm-hmm.
understand and then maybe do a course in that area. Take three,
Mm-hmm.
4, 6 months. If your mind still stays on course, then jump into that. So that is what I say about upskilling.
Yes.
Upskilling for upskilling's sake is very
For sake
dangerous.
of upskilling is
Yeah,
nothing.
it's
Yeah, I
very dangerous.
completely. You have given a very different view than generally people say. People say, okay, there's nothing harm to explore as many as things you can. But I also differ from their viewpoint, and I completely agree with the viewpoint that you have shared. Not everything is for you. We have to be very uh, selective while choosing what to do, and most importantly, what not to do. Very
कुछ
interesting.
alignment होना चाहिए ना, because so just to in a I'm sorry if your audience is also non in this speaking,
Yes,
but some alignment is important, because if you are not aligned, how will you sustain? You will not last 6 months
agree,
into the new job. I know
agree.
people who shifted from their very good career into data science, and today they are
Mhm.
looking for a job.
Mhm. Just
Today
because
they
they
are
are seeing
looking
a lot of ads on YouTube that data
they
science have this many career opportunities and these many packages you can get, but it doesn't mean like actually that is a reality. People should understand this is an ad. They should fact check and then they should go ahead with it. I'm nothing against any company who is like adding. I won't name that company, but definitely specific companies bombarding everybody with the ads of
See,
data
their
science.
job is their job is to
Their
promote
job
their
is
service, right?
yes.
So we should be more mindful, and that is where the worldview comes in picture. If we are very worldly aware, if we know what is going on in the world, if we know what is going on in our industry, in our company, in our department, if we
Mhm.
have that fair, balanced idea, we will be
Right.
able to make a good choice. And
Agree.
that
Completely agree.
idea, unfortunately, sadly, when I coach people, I find that many people I have limited idea of that.
Agree.
So most of my coaching actually goes into first 2 3 assignments I give is that please work on these things, improve your own concept. I cannot give you an answer. What
Mhm.
course should you do? You have to
Mhm.
find that. But for that, you should know what you good at, what are you not good at. So
Great.
that would be my simple summary answer.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So you mentioned in your previous answer about work-life balance. You were saying that you are not so in favor of work-life balance, and you mentioned like people are like just want to just finish the working hours and want to go back, watch Netflix and chill. But from my viewpoint, okay, definitely when you are young, you are new in career, you are not married, you have much time to explore. But once you get married, this is something I'm sharing from my personal experience. Once you get married, once you have kids at home, your responsibilities start increasing. Then somehow you need something, okay, you want to balance your family life and your work life.
Yeah.
So what are your views? How to like what are your views on it and how to strike a balance between both?
My first view, of course, is that this work life thing is simply nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Work life integration is more important,
Mm-hmm.
particularly today when we see that many people who are working from home, like I am still working from home.
Mm-hmm.
My whole day I'm available for anything that is required around the house, any chore. I'm half the
Mm-hmm.
time alone in the house. I do everything that is required. That is integration, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
balance my day similarly. uh, Now, that may look like I have a 12-hour working day. My calls start early in the morning but go late in the. But during the day, I take a lot of breaks to do things that I have to do for the
Very
home.
true. Yeah.
I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
many people do that. But coming to your question of work-life balance and why I'm a little, I call it names a little bit, is because it's fooling the younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
It is fooling the younger generation in thinking that like you said, you can be 9 to 5 and go chill and watch Netflix and daily drink beer and be fun and merry. And
Mm-hmm.
where will you learn? Where will you make friends? How will you work hard on any assignment? When will you, you know, do anything which is beyond the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
So early in your career, first 5, 7, 10 years, whatever, you should work really, really, really hard. All of us are in our positions today because when it was time to work hard, we did not see night, we did not see day, we worked really, really hard. And therefore, when the opportunity came, our managers, senior people identified us as people. Of course, I'm not saying work hard is the only thing. Of course, we should deliver also. Outcome should also be there. That is there. So coming back to your work life balance thing, and after that, as your personal responsibilities increase, like you clearly mentioned, by which time you would have figured out some things in your job also, right? So you are
Mm-hmm.
doing the same job or similar job, or in the same area for some time, so you know
Mm-hmm.
things should not take that long for you to do. Right? So you save time at your work also, and you are guiding people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, by the time when you have family responsibilities, you may have a small team which you are guiding. So what you were
Right.
doing earlier, now you guide them, right? And
Right.
you then grow. So that is extremely important, because work life integration is definitely there, but this balance is, because balance will
Mm-hmm.
keep tilting, right? It will
Mm-hmm.
not be the same. What is balance? Balance is a,
Mm-hmm.
a weighing scale with equal balance weight on each side. Should it
Mm-hmm.
be equal every day?
Mm-hmm.
No, cannot be. Should it be
Yeah.
equal every week? Maybe. Should it be equal every month? Might be, you can try. But there will be some years where you have a very tough role. You have
Right.
no balance, right? Should you quit that job and look for a easier job? No, because that is the year of growth. Because
Right.
if you put that year in, you will grow.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, later in your career, you might find or you might look for a job which will be slightly more kind on your time requirement. And please remember, if you learn very well, if you work hard, you learn the skills, you will do things faster, and automatically you will need lesser time. Therefore, you will be able to give time to, like
Both the
Ashish wants.
responsibilities.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah.
will be able to balance both the sides of
Then the
this.
balance will come, right?
Yeah.
But please don't, for youngsters, please don't look for this balance and all that, because it is fooling you. It is keeping
Yeah.
you away from hard work and keeping you away from giving your life and soul and sweat and
Mm-hmm.
blood to a job which
Mm-hmm.
will eventually help you grow. And then these are the people who come back and say, sir, I did not get a promotion and all. Boss, when I wanted you for a volunteer project, when I wanted somebody to work hard on deliver on the timeline, where were you? You were watching Netflix and drinking beer with your friends.
Yeah.
The other fellow helped me out. Whom will
Mm-hmm.
I promote?
Mm-hmm.
The other fellow, right? Why will I
Yes.
promote Ashish, who was
Definitely.
again enjoying beer? The
Agree.
sorry, I'm pulling your example, but more
No,
as a
sure, sure,
friend.
sure. Why not?
But
Yes.
you get the point. So that's my point of view on work-life balance. This is
Mm-hmm.
how actual life works out. Actual life is not what is published in papers, and because that sample size is very small. Sometimes that sample size in only some countries, in Europe or in some other countries, where the concept of work-life integration is far more stronger. And but
Mm-hmm.
in developing countries or other countries, the culture set is also different.
Yeah.
Sometimes both spouses are not working and there is one primary breadwinner. So
Yeah.
the context and is very different.
Very
So
difficult.
please
I
don't.
agree because I work with the Italian company. The working style is quite different from the
Very
companies I used to work in India. They were MNCs, but this is MNC, but the working style is entirely different. And
there
when
you
we
go.
consider China, how China have grown, they work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day at least. So that's
Yeah,
how China has outshined a lot of countries. Indians are always considered as very hardworking people, and sometimes you people in US consider, okay, Indians have destroyed their culture, they are not respecting work life balance, they are creating a negative ecosystem in the country. But Indians are by design, because we have raised from very you can say a very humble background, so working hard is in our blood. But getting influenced by European culture is maybe creating this kind of impact. People are getting into wrong mindset, I would say. This is my personal opinion, people may differ from it. Even if,
yeah,
like, if you are
partly right,
spending
but
limited hours of time at your work, find the balance hours you have, you could spend on something greater, or which could be of the long term interest for your personal interest. This is my personal
absolutely,
philosophy, I believe.
absolutely. But just to extend your point a little bit. and you shared some cultural example. And this show is not about either one culture versus another or anything. We are nobody to
Yeah.
have a view on that. But particularly in the US, if you look at the US history 50, 75, 100 years ago, they were exactly, there is the historical evidence is there that people were working 12 to 14 hours a day. That was very common.
Yeah.
So, cultures move also in some kind of a cycle.
Hmm.
So what is available today there is will be available to us in some years time. Maybe times will change. Then some of this discussion may be more useful if basic
Agree.
needs have been met, right?
Agree.
So if basic needs have not been met and we are growing, in any case, even there, people are very very hardworking.
I
In
know.
Europe and in other regions, people are very hardworking.
Hmm.
So hard work is extremely important, particularly in the first 10 years of your career. I
Absolutely.
I don't know one senior person, and I know a lot of senior people, Ashish, but none of them I know who did not work hard, really, really hard in the first 10 years of their career. Show me one
I
example
second.
who
I
chilled in
second.
their first 10 years and then is a CEO or then is doing some startups and all, maybe there here and there, but that is not a sustained example.
Agree, agree, completely agree. So coming to the next part of it, like because career advancement is very important in mid career, say after 10 years of the career or 15 years of the career, people have this question in my mind, their mind, how to grow. Because as we always say, opportunities are all around us, but it's important to identify which is the best opportunity for me.
Hmm.
How I should identify. I'm considering myself as a example of. I'm just representing myself as example of people who are in mid career. How to identify, because there could be opportunity of starting their own business, doing solopreneurship, or getting, or maybe taking a next step in their career ladder within the organization or outside the organization. Because options are a lot of options are available, a lot of opportunities are available. But which is the best opportunity that I should tap on at this moment of time? If any, there's any framework or any advice that you would like to give.
So there is a little bit of a framework I use when I coach people, and through your channel and through this show, I can say that if somebody wants to reach out, they can reach out to my LinkedIn profile, and I can guide further. But coming back to your question, so there is a little bit of a framework. For example, if you consider your current role and a future role as two circles, and I'm hoping that your audience also is aware of Venn diagrams, simple Venn diagrams, overlapping
Yeah.
diagrams, right? So two circles, current and future. Now if in the first situation, I don't want to take too much risk. I am okay with a limited reward. I don't have time or I don't have interest in learning something new. Whatever, not negatively, there can be situations where people do not genuinely have the time or interest or ability to, or money, to learn
Mhm.
something new, limited, but they still
Mhm.
want to upgrade their career. What do?
Mhm.
You overlap your career, so you find a
Mhm.
job where 70-80% of your skill set will be useful. So that is called overlapping, which is usually when you find a similar job in another company, right? So then you will get some salary upgrade, or you are a team member, you become a team leader of the same kind of thing, so because you know the job and you can perform. So this is called overlapping job transitions. So one is
Mhm.
overlap transition, the second is intersection transitions. So when intersection, what happens is
Mhm.
that I take 50 or less percent of my skill set and ability and take it to another job set, right? For example, only 2 3 years ago, Ashish Narang would not be doing this kind of a session on YouTube.
Right.
He will be doing it in person, right?
Mhm.
But he is a very good interviewer. He researches things and understand. He has good questions and likes to help people. So maybe he was trying to do this offline, right?
Mhm.
Just taking an example, your
Yes.
example.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But you have core skills, so that you can
Mhm.
transfer to an online training. Suppose you are a trainer now, or there are other trainers. You can easily transfer from this to this, but there will be a 50% overlap of skill. Their risk is high, reward is higher, if not high, reward is higher. There is some risk because you may not be able to do it, right? And there is some level of upskilling required. You will have to learn something new to do this. So risk, reward, and upskill or learnability, these are the three factors which will determine whether you want same similar job in another company or you
Mhm.
want to use your current skill sets for another role. So
Mhm.
first one is overlap, second is intersection. There is one third one as well, which is very
Mhm.
difficult, which is called adjacent shifts. Right? So
Mhm.
in adjacent shift, somebody is so good at completely different area. Suppose you are a very good, musician, right? Middle of your career, you find that, I think I'm done with my corporate career. I will try my hand in some music thing,
Right.
and you are really good, right? So,
Mhm.
or you want to invest 2 3 years. Suppose
Mhm.
somebody is, let's say, I am interested in film scripts, right? Writing
Mhm.
films, and around at my age at 50, I decide that no, I want to give 5 years to that passion, right? I have saved some money. I can run my house. I will
Mhm.
give some time to that. That is an
Right.
adjacent shift. Very high risk. If it clicks, very high reward also.
Very good. Mhm.
Upskill is tremendous upskilling because I have to completely forget what I have done for 25 years and completely learn something new.
New. Right.
Risk is high, reward is very, very high,
Mhm.
upskilling is very high. Many people don't try this, but some do.
Mhm.
Some succeed, some don't. But
Mhm.
that is one area. So these are the three. You wanted a framework. These are the three frameworks that are used in, or three parts of the framework that I use in explaining transition. So depending
Very
on
interesting.
your situation, depending on your financial condition, depending
Mhm.
on your learnability, depending on context, industry, you can decide what you want to
Very
do.
interesting. So, my next question is just an extension of this question. Considering
Hmm.
very long term, this is something. For example, if somebody is, say 40 45 years of age, like that kind of framework can be helpful. But if somebody, for example, is like say 50 plus, they have almost 10 years of the or maybe you can say that corporate career left, they're also thinking about their retirement. They are like I know a lot of people who when strike 52, they're just waiting when they will retire and they start planning for the retirement. I completely respect that because the age is there, they have put so much of effort. Now their kids are also earning. So how to maybe you can say that plan those last 8 to 10 years of maybe you can say that last of the professional career. Definitely a lot of people I know even after 60s they are working pretty hard and doing pretty good, but it's not the case with the most. So what would you what would be although my audience is not in that area, but maybe somebody
But
who
I
is
am in
looking
that.
for kind of
I am
answer.
in that area. So,
So it will be really
uh,
helpful.
very fair question. And I crossed 50 last year. So 2 3 years back, I started thinking, what will I do, right? So, and I am a firm believer. I plan really well in advance. So if I have to be I will. If I retain my job till 60, in India, most companies keep or retire people at 60, right? So
Right.
assuming fair assumption that I will last till 60 or even earlier, if I decide or the company decides that my services are not needed, whatever, any combination. In that case, I started thinking then what will I do? What are my core skill sets that I will be able to take from pre-retirement to post-retirement,
Right.
right? So looking at my profile and other things, I spoke to some people also. Some suggestions of that I could get into teaching uh, as a faculty in some MBA schools, or I could do some consulting or a coaching thing, these kind of things. So I have started investing in that space right now. Right?
Mhm.
The fact that I'm having this conversation for last 2 years, I've been very active on in this space. Why? Because I'm building for that particular stage. You
Yes.
cannot build for what you will do at
Overnight.
56 at 55. You have to
Yeah.
start at 50, right? Or maybe earlier.
Yeah.
So today that you have started right now, so
Mhm.
well before your retirement age. So that is point one. That please start early. Please look
Yes.
at skills that you can take from your pre-retirement to your post-retirement.
Mhm.
Um See, what is very important is that, and I was speaking on another session about 2 weeks back, and I said that in India, and assuming most of your audience is in India, life expectancy in the last 25 years, so 25 years ago or 22 years ago in 2000, average life expectancy in India was 61 years,
Mhm.
average of male, female both, right? So
Yeah.
assume
Now
that
it's
similar.
increasing. Yeah.
Today it is 72 years.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, it was 62, now it is 71. So 9 more years.
More years. Yes.
On an average, all of us are going to live till 71 years. If we are above
Mhm.
average, maybe 75, 80, 85, what will we do? We can't just sit around enjoying life, right? There will be no
Mhm.
money for that much enjoyment also,
Yes, agree.
right? So
Because we do not have social security like in
we
other
don't have that
countries.
social security, and the traditional pension gratuity, all these schemes were designed for 60, 65, 70. If you live till 75, 80, where is the insurance? Where is your gratuity? Where is the income? So you will have to work. You
Right.
may not work in the same capacity, but you will have to work even from a financial point of view. Secondly, it
Agree.
is very boring. I've seen my own father, who after retirement, of course, did some consulting, but did not take up any full-time employment. So
Mhm.
life can become a little boring, and I've seen many other people in that generation. So now that coming to your question directly, so one is of course the you have to start early. You have to plan early. You have to start early. Focus on most importantly health. So if you want to cross that 71 average, and in some years that 71 will automatically become 73, 74, because generally medical services are better. People are taking care of their health, and on an average, people will last longer, right? So firstly, take care of your health so that you are in the higher end of the that average, not in the lower end. So, and of course, you should be fit, right? So nobody wants to just drag around till 75. You want to be fit and not pain for your family. So health is extremely important. That should be there. Uh, Second is, finances. Sort out your finances, and make sure that you have some income streams for later. Like I am investing in, some potential income streams for later. Okay. And third is financial. So, which is similar to this one, or insurance, you can say, health related and these kinds. So these are the things I am doing. And any of some of my friends who are little elder to me and are closer to 55 and all, I give this advice to them as well, that please sort out your finances, please build some potential revenue streams, and make sure that you have long term health insurance which you can use. What is the health insurance? Whatever health insurance available today at 50 for me, in 25 years, I will need five times of that insurance, maybe more, right? So, what are we doing about that? So, these are some of the inputs I can share. Of course, I will only know whether this is right when I get there. But I think I'm right because I've started early. I've started building a brand. I've started making sure that I am known for my views on in the area, so that at 55 or 60, whenever I am ready for a second innings, I am not an unknown person, right? So that is extremely important.
I
So build.
really found these very helpful, and I'm pretty sure this will also give a direction to a lot of people who are not so sure what to do next. You have given a very clear roadmap by setting an example, I would say, because a lot of people say a lot of things, but you are actually doing it, so you are the right authority to say this. And you have given a very great piece of advice, not only about for the people who are into 50s, but also people who are into their
Closer.
mid 40s, as well as people who are starting out the career. So you have covered the whole demographics, I would say, in this conversation. And I'm
It
pretty
is.
sure whoever is watching this conversation has a lot of things to learn through this podcast.
I would hope so, Ashish. And just to add a little bit, see, it is important to find a skill set that you can later on make into a professional, a potential revenue stream. What are you doing today that you can sell tomorrow?
Right.
Remember this, very important. What are you doing today that you can sell tomorrow? If nothing, then there is a question mark,
Yeah.
right? Somebody has to pay for those services tomorrow to make for you to earn. Right. Nobody is
Absolutely.
kind. Nobody is going to give you charity. Nobody's, you are not in that group. Some really underprivileged people, maybe government will take care. Or really highly privileged people, they will have a lot of money to take care. The middle
Yeah.
class, like you and me, we have to take care of ourselves.
Yourselves
So, what
and
are
our
you doing
families
today
too.
that
Yeah.
you can tell? Yeah, our families also. And by the time your family will be multiple people.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing today that you can sell tomorrow?
Absolutely. Very, very great piece of advice, I would say. And as we are towards the end of the conversation, and I'm amazed to see a lot of insight coming through you. And I keep on like following your post on LinkedIn, and I am a big fan of yours. And to the audience who are watching it live or will be watching after this conversation, I highly recommend you to follow Mr. Anshuman Tiwari on the LinkedIn. And as you have got to know, it's just a glimpse of what he can do. So you can always connect with him for one-on-one coaching programs. He do a lot of coaching programs, and these are customized and tailor-made programs wherein he can help you for your real problem, for your personalized problems. So I will share his LinkedIn link in the description section of this conversation. I recommend you to go and reach out to Mr. Anshuman, and I'm pretty sure you will thank me later.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you
I'm
so
since
much, sir. Thank-
this show is live also on YouTube. I also have a YouTube channel, so you can search by the name Manage Better or my name. It is easy to find, where I actually share a lot of such things in small and large format video also. So those who are interested in learning more about generally professional career or my space, which is quality management,
Very
then they
nice.
can also check that.
Perfect.
Okay.
So what I will do is I will also, alongside with the LinkedIn link, I'm also giving the link of search channel Managing Better, and I am tagging that channel in the title of this video itself. So you just need to click on search channel, and it will take you to his channel. You please do subscribe both the channels and stay updated with upcoming episodes. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time and insights shared.
Anytime.
Yes.
I'm hopeful that your audience benefited. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. In live, I know like very few people join. It's the regular trend because this is Sunday evening and most of the people are having some fun time. But after this live, a lot of people will definitely watch this and will get benefit out of it.
No, no problem at all. And you anyway kept it on YouTube, so there will be people who can watch later.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable
Thanks a
time.
lot. Bye bye.
We'll stay
Thanks.
connected. Yeah.